Hey everyone, my name's Allie. I shot this one time and it ended up being 6.5 minutes because I took way too long to summarize. I'm gonna try again. I just finished watching the movie. It was My Octopus Teacher. It was a documentary about a man and father who felt very burnt out in both of his roles, I say both roles, being a father and an employee working. So he decided to go into the ocean and he saw this octopus. And well, at first he sees shells, a big ball on the ocean floor, not sure what it is. Turns out, we find out later that that's her, the octopus. He decides he's going to follow this octopus and kind of document her life. I love documentaries. I found it very interesting. I love animals. I love documentaries. I love documentaries about animals. I've got my notes right here. So, he starts out by following this octopus. He very quickly becomes very wrapped up in her. He actually admits that it is an obsession. He goes to bed thinking about her. He wakes up thinking about her. He dreams about her. He later wonders what she's getting out of the relationship, if anything, which he then determines that she is getting, what's the word? She is getting enrichment. Octopi are very smart, very, very smart, and so obviously she's being enriched by this as well. She looks for him when he comes to visit her. One scene, if I had to choose one, would be the scene at the end. It was very sad. I admit I cried, but I cry in lots of movies, where she has laid her eggs and she's slowly dying. He says timing out her death to exactly when her eggs hatch. She's oxygenating them and caring for them in their den. And then later it shows her body floating and she's being picked at by a few fish. And eventually the pajama shark comes and takes her away. And he says it was almost a relief because, it kind of closed that chapter in his life, which I found interesting. I'm not sure, a relief, the death of this animal that you loved, describing it as a relief was a little strange to me, but I understood why he said that. Overall, I found the documentary very interesting and really cool. Watching her camouflage the way she does when the shark is hunting her. He's hunting her through the kelp forest, and eventually she starts picking up all the shells and balls up, and he says, oh, that's what I saw when I first started visiting, and I thought that was pretty cool. He at one point mentions that he felt like the octopus's vulnerability when she loses her arm to the shark and it grows back was kind of a mirror of his life. And I thought that was pretty cool. Being a parent myself, I understand being burnt out. I understand that the world doesn't stop just because you're tired. It keeps going. You have to care for your kids. I felt for that octopus when she was in her den, giving her whole life to these eggs. I understand that, and I resonated with that. And I also thought it was really cool when the octopus played with the fish. That was like a quick little thing, but I just thought that was super cool, watching her reach out and kind of tag them as they swam by. I'm sure the fish didn't think it was very funny, but I thought it was pretty cool. So yeah, I really enjoyed the documentary, and just really enjoyed the relationship. And I loved seeing that it kind of came full circle back when, he got back to hanging out with his son and started including his son in what he was doing and stuff. So I just thought it was really cool, and it was one of my favorite things we've watched so far in class.